We've been talking about prophetic spontaneous worship and some of those things. As you know, I spent, the last 20-ish years practicing, mostly messing up at doing this, but learning some really valuable things along the way. And I want to pass those valuable techniques and concepts back to you. Like I said, I was under a tent, played a D chord, wasn't very good. I moved to Kansas City for 10 years, practiced. And when I say practice, like I said before, a little bit of trial, a little bit of error. And I also just kind of learned, in doing it. I was on the faculty at the Foreigner Music Academy as a teacher. I worked specifically with worship leaders, musicians, and singers in labs and taught them how to do this kind of in flight. And now I've basically been compiling for the last 10 years the techniques and the concepts in a way that could be a curriculum that I could actually get it to you. I remember maybe a few years ago teaching a singer to first get into actually expressing the impressions of the Holy Spirit, which is what I call prophetic worship, expressing the impressions of the Holy Spirit through music. And I remember talking to them, and they were like, well, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I'm gifted enough, meaning I don't know if I can hear from the Lord. I don't know if I should or could, or if it's biblical, if it's not biblical. You know the arguments. You've had them. I've had them. We've all had them. And I remember there was a singer who was in a set, and I could tell just intuitively that they had something on them, that there was something that they had more of that they wanted to keep singing. And I kind of looked at them and kind of gave them the, okay, go for it. And this is a fairly timid person. And they started to sing it out. And it was incredibly powerful, meaning it completely changed the way the whole meeting was going. I mean, completely just changed so many different things about the meeting and opened it up to where there was more things, that more people began to be more inspired and began to say more things. And afterwards, I was debriefing with her. And I asked her, and I said, okay, so let me ask you a question. What were you feeling? What were you thinking when you were about to express that? What were you thinking? What were you feeling when you were about to do that? And they said, Nathan, and I've heard, you've no idea how many times I've heard this. I've heard this dozens of times, and they've all said the same thing, and it's this phrase. I felt kind of stupid. I felt like it was kind of dumb what I was going to say. And then I started to say it. Musicians have done the same thing. I started to play it. I started to express it. And as soon as I started to express it, the Lord began to give me more. And it started to make more sense. And that's one of the things I just want to talk about today is you don't need the burden of having it all. You don't need that burden. It says in Corinthians, Paul talks about in Corinthians that Paul told us, hey, you see in part, you hear in part, and you speak in part. What I want to really, help us with is understand that we don't need to have the burden of having it all. We just need to hear our part. And I say it like this, the phrase I use. I want to be able to see my part and sing my part. Or as a musician, I want to be able to hear my part and play my part. I want to do my part. And so I just want to take that burden off of you. And just that phrase of, hey, I kind of feel dumb. I kind of feel stupid doing it. I always tell people this all the time. Just be aware of this. You need to get over the fear of looking dumb, because the truth is you're going to look dumb. So, I'm sorry. I remember being in improv comedy. And in improv comedy, they played a game to teach people to get used to looking dumb while trying to improvise. And the game is called Bunny Bunny. I'm taking you way behind the curtain. And the game is called Bunny Bunny. And in the game Bunny Bunny, you are to act out an entire scene. And you can only do two things. When you speak, you can move your fingers. But the only words that you can say are Bunny Bunny. So we'll play out Macbeth, or we'll play out a famous play, or we'll play out a thing where we have the script and everything. But instead of saying the words, instead of saying exactly how it is, we have to say, Bunny Bunny, Bunny Bunny, Bunny Bunny, Bunny Bunny. And the game actually is set up to help you get over your fear of looking silly. So, I mean, I like to have exercises and different things that kind of help, get you over that fear of looking silly. You will need to take steps if you want to move and growing to be a prophetic, spontaneous singer, musician, worship leader.